Back in 2013, the bigwigs at Yamaha came up with the idea of the dark side of Japan, a concept which would shine a light on their brand new range of motorcycles, the MT range, MT standing for Masters of Torque, with the brightest of those lights shining on their flagship model, the MT09. A 3-cylinder 850cc machine with motard styling and a throttle which responded quicker than a middle-aged man to that definitely real 21-year-old Russian supermodel on Tinder. It's no surprise that the MT09 made a big splash with both journalists and consumers alike. The range continues on to this day and is one of Yamaha's most popular, but it's those first generation of bikes that really made people stand up and take notice. But how do they hold up over a decade on? Well, I thought I'd pull my own 2014 model out of the garage and take you on a ride with me so as you can see for yourself and experience the dark side of Japan.
Okay, so let's just go for a ride around the lovely north coast of Northern Ireland on this typically windy day. Truth be told, I'm not entirely sure I'm allowed to be in here. It says it's a building site, but I don't exactly know what they're building. Right. Here, she sounds good, she sounds good. Right, now you get to see my wonderful off-roading abilities as I try not to fall over or, ow, indeed, run over. Ow! Oh god, oh god, oh god, I'm in a rut. Oh, this is not going at all well. Okay, I think have we survived? I think we're just about ready. Okay, and then there's a gate in the way. Oh Christ. This is an enduro. See, it's an enduro bike as well. Look at all the things it can do. Ow, 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 and we're free. Christ alive. Right, and away we go. God, that was an ordeal in and of itself. Oh, I'll just let you enjoy that. I'll just let you enjoy that. Anyway, right, now we can get on to the actual review, I suppose. So a little background on this bike. I bought it in October of 2023 because I turned 33 and I thought, you know what, let's just spend a load of money on something stupid. And that's exactly what I did. Because before this, just a quick rundown of my two-wheel history. Got my CBT and I started off on a TDR 125, a 2002 TDR 125, another Yamaha. That was class. We two-stroke, was an absolute demon whenever she decided she wanted to start. Then after that, passed the test on an SV650. And I got, what did I get after that? My CB400 Super 4, the version R, so the Japanese import version that had been my brother's bike. So I bought it off him. And that was an inline 4. Then after that, I got a 1995 VFR 750, big V4, and I absolutely loved it. It was the most comfortable thing I've ever thrown my leg over, and that's saying a lot. Actually, I don't even know what that means, but I thought, you know what, it's time for a change. And then I always had a thing for MTs, just because of the reputation that they had. I thought, that sounds like a little bit of me, that does. So I found one going for reasonable money, met the fella, we hashed out a deal, and half an hour later it was in the back of the van and on the way back up home. Anyway, enough of me actually blathering on. What is this thing actually like to ride? This is a 2014, so it's the first generation of MT09, and to be honest, I think it's the best looking version. I think this thing looks absolutely awesome. It does look quite of its time, to be fair, of that kind of where everything looked like it was designed with a ruler by a 16-year-old kid dizzy on Monster Energy. But I think it looks absolutely awesome. I don't even mind the rear tail light that everyone seems to hate on these. I don't mind it at all because I can't see it currently, so I really don't care. The main complaints, I guess, about this thing are this: that the snatchy throttle, I suppose, is whatever it was the big criticism of these things when it came out. And you know what? It's like anything else. Once you get used to it, it's absolutely fine. Of course, yes, there are some times where I'll be sitting, kind of cruising through town with my hand off the bar, and then I'll shift myself in the seat and accidentally snatch on the throttle, and it'll kind of wake me up a bit. Sorry, I thought that was my turn-in. It's not, I don't think. Is it? No. I ride this thing. There are 3 riding modes on this absolute monster, which is not a monster. Of course, there's A, B, and standard. I ride it in standard because I think there's absolutely no need for me to be in A mode at any point. A mode is, of course, full beans, the quickest throttle response, full bar, absolutely gung-ho machine. Have at it, lads, if you want to go a bit mental. B mode is a sort of rain mode, but there's still plenty of power. It's just that power is delivered a little bit more sedately. But not even, hang on, we'll flick it into B mode. There we go. It's literally, you roll off the throttle, hit the mode button. I don't think that's really a rain mode. It's and then we'll, just for comparison, A mode, right? We're rolling, we're cruising. Jesus Christ! Oh! Yes, dignified. Yeah, it's she'll just go, and she'll pick up. You can literally, I'm just going to roll off. I'm sitting in 6th here, we're rolling off down to about 50, we'll just roll, and then bang! Oh Jesus, see what I mean about that throttle? It just takes off whenever it wants to. But she will just absolutely take off no matter what gear you're in, and no matter what speed you're doing, although it does tend to make you quite lazy in that regard, where you just poodle around in 4th or 5th. Going from, it's the first time I've ever ridden a triple, and I can see why everyone loves this engine so much, because it's just absolute madness, really. So why did I go for the MT09? So it was between, when I was buying this thing, it was between this and a street triple, a Triumph street triple, which I really, it was as a second choice. I don't think there's just a hello, sir. So yeah, but I saw this thing and I went to view it, and I absolutely fell in love with it. The previous owner had kept this absolutely immaculate. There was only 11,000 miles on it. Stock as a rock, pretty much. The only thing he put on it was heated grips, which are still on it, but when I changed the battery, I disconnected them. So they're still on it, and what else did he put on it? Tail tidy. Oh, wee bit wide there. That was pretty much it, really. So just as a side note, look at that view. Look at it. Look how pretty that is. Almost as pretty as you. But there are a lot of, as anyone will say, a lot about riding bikes is about how it makes you feel. And this thing makes you feel like you can't really, well, obviously you can't see, but I have a huge smile on my face. every time I step on this thing. And it's the same with everyone who's jumped on it as well. Like my brother, he has a 2005 RSV Melee, the Chihuahua. He got on this thing and he fell in love with it. My dad has a V4 Chihuahua. He jumped on it and he absolutely fell in love with it as well. So it has a reputation as a wheelie machine, and if you're not careful, the front will come up. It's just one of those things. It's like, you know, death, taxes, and the front will come up on your MT09. That's just one of the laws of the world. And that's the thing. I don't know how to wheelie. That's my little secret shame. I don't know how to wheelie, but this thing will just take it upon itself to make you learn. What a day! What a fantastic day, and what a fantastic view. The one day a year, well, the half hour a year, whenever Northern Ireland gets a bit of sun. Oh yes, she does pop and bang quite a bit with this exhaust on. Which, to be honest, sometimes it does get a little bit wearisome, but the majority of the time you're just too busy giggling at all the loud noises it makes. And the reason I went with the Black Widow exhaust is that I didn't have to get it remapped. It fits with the, you can just bolt it on and she just works out of the box. Another thing that people, well, actually more so than the snatchy throttle, that was the biggest complaint about these bikes when they first came out, especially this generation, was the pogo stick for a rear shock. And to be honest, that I did notice that. Like I've never, like I say, all I've ever owned is like old bikes, so I've never had to deal with. So I didn't know what good suspension was. So I got on this thing, and even I kind of on a first ride was like, yeah, that needs addressed. So after the exhaust was put on, I found an orange rear shock on eBay for a very reasonable price. I thought, yes, that is much needed, and it helped this thing, the handling of this thing, tenfold. Would I like to get some new cartridge kits in the forks? Yes. Can I afford to do that right away? No. Is it a major issue with the bike? Absolutely not. She tracks true. It's like she's, well, for me anyway, it's like she's on rails. But then again, I'm not exactly pushing this thing to how it's probably meant to be ridden. In regards to, what else have we got? Riding position. Now, that's a bit of an odd subject for me, and this bike in particular, because that's another thing that the previous owner put on. He put the comfort seat on this bike, which, to be honest, being in my close to my mid-30s now, I greatly appreciate, because it's extremely comfortable, as the name suggests. You'd be a bit pissed off if it was uncomfortable, but that adds an extra maybe inch and a half maybe to the seat height, and I'm 6'2", and this thing fits me like a glove, to be honest. I don't know, I can't speak for what the stock seat would be like, but with this comfort seat on it, it fits that. I fit on this thing absolutely perfectly, but I've got it set up to how I like it, and you know, everybody's different. It's so flickable. I've never had a bike this flickable before. It's ridiculous. I'm still not really used to it. That's in 5th, and we're just rolling on. We're in, oh god, we're still in A mode. I didn't even realize. See, this is a ton of fun. It is a ton of fun, and that's what being on two wheels is about, isn't it? Really. What's that old expression? It's not about what you ride, it's just that you ride. And man, especially when you've got views like that. It's just, I love this thing. Going out on this thing, it's like an event to me. It's like you open the garage door and you see it, and you just like you immediately get the smile on your face before you even turn the key. Another thing to show that. What are you doing, you silly arse? I am not right. Well, and then we're just going to sit and poodle. That's fine. We're just going to do that, are we? No harm, friend. But I know it's a 40, but I'm not gonna deal with that. Another thing was that this thing was meant to, when it came out, it was seen as like a budget bike as much as a bike can be budget. Hence the sort of substandard rear shock. The brakes on this thing, it's no braided lines, rubber hoses, which is something I would love. I need to upgrade just for my own personal preference. But the brakes on it are absolutely fine. There's no real reason to upgrade other than just that you'd want to, really. And it's just on my VFR, I stuck steel braided hoses on it, and it made a massive difference. But then again, that was a near 20-year-old bike, so it needed it. This doesn't really need it, to be honest. But I would like to put them on it just to, it's for my own peace of mind, I suppose. And that's really all that's in regards to addressing all of the issues that people had with this bike whenever it first came out. Of course, the newer generations have all that stuff. They fixed the rear shock issue. I don't know if they put braided lines on the new ones, to be fair. But yeah, I think this thing, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this thing. Dash, yes, it's a bit kind of dated by 2024 standards, but this is she's 10-year-old, bless her. Actually, that VFR was was like 30-year-old. I can't count well, seemingly. Anyway, yes, this thing, 10-year-old, it tells you everything you need to know. It's got a fuel gauge, it's got a clock, it's got your gear indicator, revs. It tells you, you don't need any more information than that, and it's not cluttered at all. Well, that is one thing. Another thing, there's two things I want to address about this thing before I sign off on this video, whenever that may be. Fuel gauge. Christ alive. If you love gambling, if you're a gambling person, you'll love this thing, because there's a fuel gauge, yes. Does it tell you, does it steadily tell you when you're running out of fuel? No. It'll be full, half a tank. You know, I don't know why there's 4 bars on it, only needs 3. Mainly because there's 5 bars on it. Well, to be fair, I'm trying to look at the road, so that's my excuse. Yeah, it's basically just full, half, empty. There's no in between. So that's kind of annoying, and especially when this thing only has a 14-litre tank. So you go through. She's quite a thirsty beast. At the best of times, whenever you're riding spiritedly, I mean within the realms of the national speed limit, of course. But yeah, having such a small fuel tank, and you'd like to, have a bit more of an indication whenever you need to top it up, so that you're not bloody having to push the thing home. And then the second thing is, I don't know if this is just unique to this bike in particular, or if it was a problem with the not a problem, but it was with an issue with sorry, just take that in, with this generation of MT09s. Is she pops into neutral very handy. You'll just be clicking down through the gears and you think that you're in first, and it turns out you're in neutral, and you kind of give her a handful of throttle and you just end up revving the nuts off it. There we go. Caravans, man. I never understood the concept of caravans. Like, as a family, you live in a house and you fight and you squabble, and then you think, oh, for a holiday we'll go and fight and squabble in a more confined area. No, it doesn't really, didn't really compute to me. Give me a hotel with my own room, please. But then again, whenever you've got scenery like this, you could probably stick it. You could deal with it, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty much everything that I wanted to say about this MT09. It's not the most in-depth review. I'm not a journalist. I'm just a guy that owns one. I can only talk to you with my own personal views on the thing. I absolutely adore it. It's the perfect amount of power for me. Sorry, I'll try and translate that into normal person speak. It's got the perfect amount of power for me. Sorry, it's just this horrible accent that I have been diagnosed with, being from this part of the world. You don't need any more. Well, I don't anyway. She will keep up with anything. She's 115. Oh, hello, friends. 115 horsepower. She weighs as much as a photograph of itself. And she just goes. She just goes. Which is not the most eloquent or scientific terminology, but I don't know what else you can really say. She just picks up and she just flies on ahead. Speaking of flying on ahead, that's what I'm going to do now as I finish up this little afternoon blast on this absolutely wonderful machine. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. You don't have to like, subscribe, you don't have to do all that stuff. It's the joys of living in a, well, we think it's a democracy, but it's, anyway, that's a whole other issue for another time. What I'm trying to say is, you don't have to like and subscribe. I don't care. I'm just glad that you stuck with me this long and you watched the video. If you do have an MT09 of your own, or if you have something similar to this, let me know in the comment section down below. What do you have? Let's everyone just get a conversation going about what you have and why you love your bike, because that's really what it's all about, isn't it? Just everybody coming together and just bonding over something that we all enjoy. So while you're doing that, I'm going to pull in and turn the camera off, and thanks. Sorry. Before we go, just look at it. I'll leave you with this wonderful scenery. I can't do outros. I'm not a very good talker, as you may have gathered, in general. So I'll just let the landscape speak for me. As I say, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, whenever that may be. God, this place is nice, isn't it? It's a shame that it's going to piss down for the next 7 months, but you know, it is what it is.